Africa is a strange place in people's imaginations. Some instantly think of poverty, while others think of beautiful beaches, resorts, and safaris. However, our ancestral continent contains other forms of amazing beauty. I wonder, what if I did a video from a historical perspective, as there are many classical sites still in existence. Many not as well known as Abu Simbel or the city of Luxor, but definitely worth visiting. So in this video, I want to talk about must-see places that are important from an African history lover point of view. Honestly, I must confess, it's difficult to select only 5 places. The whole of Africa should be visited by the diaspora. Needless to say, these sites or cities are part of my bucket list, as I want to travel and document our heritage. Please bear in mind that I won't highlight any touristy safari-like stuff. These 5 places will be grounded in African history, a guide for a sort of spiritual pilgrimage or field research, if you will. Starting with number 5, Great Zimbabwe in the country of Zimbabwe was the cultural capital city of the empire known as Monomotapa. Some scholars say that this city, with its massive stone walls, were built before the Middle Ages. The ruins show remnants of extraordinary building skills of the ancestral Shona people, as they made the constructions without mortar. Among these ruins, we can find palaces, temples, cottages, and warehouses. The gigantic granite walls are in some places 10 meters high and 5 meters thick. Great Zimbabwe had a population of 18,000 people during the 1300s, roughly the same as London during the same time period. It was seemingly an important trading center where local manufactured products were found, made of iron, gold, bronze, and ivory. And while it has long been abandoned, it's definitely worth being on your bucket list. Number 4. Ethiopia contains several classical cities which would inspire the likes of J.K. Rowling or G.G.R. Martin in no time. We have Aksum, Lalibela, and my favorite, Gondar, which has been called the Camelot of Africa due to the many palaces built during the Middle Ages. Emperor Fasilidas ended the tradition of having a mobile court and founded the city of Gondar in 1636. It was famous for its sophisticated, aristocratic life, its religious scholarship, and its extensive trade with Sudan, the port of Massawa, as well as the southern lands below the Blue Nile. Gondar was also noted for the skill of its many craftsmen. The city and its majestic buildings almost remind me of Game of Thrones or even the Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog, for you old heads. Surrounding several castles and the Bath complex, we have a 900-meter long wall, still in pretty good condition. To experience Gondar is certainly to experience historical Africa. Number 3. The Tchit-Walata region of Mauritania marks a culture going as far back as 2500 BCE, where large stone villages have been found. Walled stone villages made by the ancestors of the Soninke and the Bozo people to protect themselves against outsiders. This culture created the kingdom of Wagadu during the early 300s. It has been estimated that some parts of the capital housed 30,000 people. Going through my book research, while I would like to recommend Kumbisale, the old capital seems pretty hard to visit. As an alternative, I would suggest visiting the village of Tchit, which similarly contains the classical Mauritanian architecture and also has an airport and museum. Nima was also an ancient town of the Wagadu kingdom, and it seems to be a good option also, if Tchit is difficult to visit. These ancient sites within Mauritania should be on your list, especially for doing field research. From what I've seen, the pictures online do not do the stone villages any justice. Plus, some seem to be misnamed, so it's best to check it out with your own eyes. Number 2. It's almost common knowledge that the pyramids in Sudan are more numerous than in Egypt. Merowe, or Badawi, as it was known to the Kushites, has 84 pyramids of the 223 in Sudan. The pyramids are between 20 and 30 meters high and were used for royal burials. Merowe was the last capital of the Kushite Empire from 590 BCE until 350 CE and lies on the east side of the Nile River in what is now Sudan. During its heyday, it was known as a center of iron production and gold mines. The excellence of the Kushites really shined through the pyramids, such as the Pyramid of Queen Amanitore. And of course, the artistic gold jewelry left in many tombs. These are stunning examples of the architecture and the culture of the kingdom. According to some sources, the city fell into despair after being raided by the Exumites. This ancient city is a must-see destination for any lover of African history. Number 1. Enugu State in Nigeria contained the Ito pyramids made by the Igbo people in the city of Nsute. Sadly, there seem to be no contemporary images of these pyramids. The last images were seemingly taken in 1935, which means they are possibly eroded due to the lack of maintenance. According to online sources, the Ito pyramids once stood with circumferences of 80 feet and a pinnacle reaching up to 40 feet. Translation: 24 meters in circumference and reaching up to 12 meters in height. It does seem worthwhile to visit there and see what is left. There have been rumors in 2020 that the Enugu State Tourism Board might restore them in cooperation with the local community. We, as the diaspora, might need to take a petition to the Nigerian government, firmly asking for a reconstruction. Otherwise, that historical monument will remain perhaps one of Africa's greatest losses to world civilization. I'm not done yet. Channeling my old favorite YouTuber, the Nostalgia Critic, this will be 6 places to visit instead of 5, because I like to go one step beyond. So number 0. Now on the west side of Nigeria, we have remnants of a 100 miles long wall in Eredo, a former city in Yoruba land. The rediscovered parts of the city goes back to the 9th century. According to one scholar, because of the grandness, Eredo could be considered a kingdom instead of a city. Local tradition states that Queen Bilikisu Songbo commanded building the city walls. This is a prime example of the great achievements of the Yoruba people, which were masters of urban planning in this part of West Africa. Quoting a modern scholar, by the year 1300, the Yoruba people built numerous walled cities surrounded by farms. Cities with a long history such as Oyo, Ketu, Popo, Sabe, and many others. This is it for now, guys. What did you think of this list? And were you aware of these sites beforehand? Let me know in the comment section below. For your personal research, you can find the resources in the description box below. If you like to support the channel, join me on Patreon, where you will get more detailed information about the sources and also high quality photos and videos of our heritage. Help me make African history more accessible to all. If you watched till the end, you're awesome. Please like, subscribe, and share. So again, in conclusion, it's time to remember what we have forgotten.